Hey dudes, thanks for tuning in. Nothing fancy again with a knife review. You guys have asked for a couple more fixed blade reviews, and here's one coming at you. This is a Fred Perrin fixed blade tactical slash utility slash camping slash hunting knife. And I say that it has a lot of purposes because it truly does. This is a very versatile design that's extremely well executed. It's one of my favorite. I know I got a lot. One of my favorite fixed blade designs, but it's just outstanding. I'm going to first start this review by talking about the sheath. You guys know I like the Kydex and plastic sheaths because they're so useful. They're impervious to moisture, they drain well, and they won't add weight to your loadout if you get caught in the rain or the snow. And this is no different. I think this is a plastic sheath. I'm not really sure between the difference of Kydex and plastic. I know you can mold Kydex with heat forming, and maybe different types of plastic not so much. You just mold them. If they get hot, they warp. However, I'm never planning on getting this near the fire, so I don't think it's a factor. And this sheath is very well executed. I love it. First off, it has the grommet holes all the way around it, so you can use them for various lashing should you find the need. And to be honest with you, I forget what this came with, what type of attachment device, but I put a large tech lock attachment on it, and you can see how I did that. And on the other side, I zip tied it. So I got 2 screws anchoring the tech lock here. I didn't like the flex that it had, and so I just simply zip tied it on the other side with a black zip tie. And so far I found that to be fairly satisfactory. Now this large tech lock is nice because I can put that on a web belt. I can put the adjustable spacer back in it. Right now I have it off, but if I put that adjustable spacer in it, I can narrow it up and make it suitable for any width belt. Remember, those tech locks come in like medium and large sizes. They will add about 2 ounces to your sheath, and it's just up to you whether you decide if the weight's worth it or not. In this particular example, I think the weight is worth it, adding the tech lock to the Fred Perrin. I have this knife currently configured for a tactical LBE setup. In other words, it would be on maybe my right hip in a very standardized location, and that's very important. If you are using it in a tactical application, i.e. you'd be using this knife in a defensive encounter, it's got to be in the same place every time. You don't want it drifting on your belt, and that's where a tech lock is nice because it really will lock it in, especially if you do use a spacer and measure your belt. Right now, like I said, I've got this set up for the 2.5 inch military wed belt, so I don't need the spacer. It locks without it, and it stays in position. That way, if my hand memory will go to the same place every single time. The sheath of the Fred Perrin locks in without any gimmicks, just a nice little click in there, and it holds it securely. Now, would it hold it secure enough to go vertical, maybe with handle down carry? I think it would, actually. I would probably place some nice military elastic webbing through this grommet, wrap it around if I was jumping with it, or maybe fast roping out of a helo with it, or anything where I'd be running and maybe I'd run the risk of popping that out. But it does lock fairly securely into the sheath. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it probably about a 7.5 for security. It would be nice maybe if they had some type of locking mechanism, but that would add weight and complexity, and as the design is, it's outstanding. So that's a sheath made of plastic. It's made better by a tech lock, which I really like. And I can't remember, maybe this thing did come with a tech lock or not, but I think I changed the size to that size. Anywho, great sheath, Spyderco. Good job. Let's look at the blade. Man, that's a nice looking blade. Yeah, it's a Bowie blade, but I love Bowies. The reason they are still around is because there's just such a functional and useful design. Applicable in all types of cutting situations. Let's first talk about the shape. Well, I just did, I guess, a Bowie. It's an unsharpened clip. No, I haven't sharpened this one. I may in the future. In fact, not may, I will sharpen it in the future, that upper clip. It would make it a little more deadly. As this thing comes from Spyderco, it's very sharp. Has a real nice sharp edge on it. Man, you can shave with that thing. Good job, Spyderco. There's very few Spydercos that just aren't sharpened to that degree. Man, they do a good job. It's a great company. Nice blade. Nice black finish on it. Yeah, it'll wear off with use. I haven't used this one. yet. This is a collection knife so far. I have used another one. I don't know where it's at. But this one is kind of brand new, but that finish will wear. But heck, it just looks cooler the more it wears, if you ask me. So I'll sharpen that clip. Real nice edge on it. I have no problems with the grind. It seems like a full flat grind to me, which I always prefer. I love that grind that starts all the way at the top here and then angles down towards the tip. It just is such a functional grind. Second to that, I'd probably go with a hollow grind as far as my favorites. It's made out of VG10 steel, which I'm a huge fan of. It might be a little bit on the brittle side, but it holds an edge well and has some corrosion resistance as well, so it's excellent. This is a Japanese made blade with ultra high quality standards. So excellent job on the blade. Good reach on it. Let's see, I forget exactly how long this blade is. Let me get my ruler out here and I'll tell you right off. It's about 4 3/4 inches. We'll call it 5 inches, 5-inch blade. So decent. It's a smaller utility slash tactical knife, but the upside to that is it's lightweight. This knife is only 5.9 ounces. Now with this larger tech lock on the sheath, it's a little bit more, but still, that's pretty darn light. Amazingly light. And then we get to some other features that I really love. The jimping on the back of the blade is just superb. It starts all the way in the middle of the handle. It runs all the way forward, about 2 inches on the top spine of the blade, and it's very functional. It bites in the fat of your skin nice, and you can really get a good control lock on the top of that blade, which leads us to the handle, which is excellent. The nice thing that Fred Perrin did when he designed this is he has that nice deep choil in here, so we can just sink our index finger in there. If you want a reverse grip, it would be sinking the pinky in there. Either way, you're going home happy. It's awesome. And with that feature, we don't need some choil guards or finger guards that would prevent our hands coming forward on that lockup. Yeah, I love that feature. It's just so awesome. It's very ergonomic too. And the handle has a nice palm taper in it, which is meant for the palm. So as we lock our index finger into the choil, it just naturally falls right in here to the small of the palm. And it's very ergonomic, very comfortable. Excellent knife handle. Either way you handle it, it's just going to lock in very nicely. Has some Kraton inserts on the phenolic or Zytel handle. It's a full tang design. Actually, maybe not quite full tang. It probably comes 3/4. But that's probably enough if you ask me. For the uses I'd put this knife through. So, excellent job on the handle. Great job on the blade. Just very superb design overall. Now, again, the beauty of this knife is it's so versatile. We can do so many things with this knife. First off, I would classify it as an all-around outstanding camp knife. That the thin profile of the blade, the flat grind, the sharpness of it, it lends itself just to camp tasks. It'd be a great trout knife, even a hunting knife for skinning. I think it would do superbly in that role. Just food preparation would be excellent, especially since we have that choil. We can actually chop all the way down to the cutting board, so it's actually a good chopper as well. So great utility knife, great hunting knife, I would think. The size lends for great control. How about tactical defensive use? Yeah, I think it's excellent. If you think about it, the folding tactical designs that we've talked about have a lot shorter blade than this. I mean, even the biggest ones, I shouldn't say the biggest ones, but the majority of them are running about a 3 to 3.5 inch blade, and this one runs a 5. Now granted, it's a fixed blade, and fixed blades are a little tougher to carry, i.e. they don't fold, they're stiffer. We just, if they're in the small of your back, it's uncomfortable. But if you wear it in the right position on your belt, or maybe in a vertical carry mode, fixed blades can do quite well. And this would be a nice little surprise if you needed it in a backup weaponry scenario. Very nice. And I think it would serve superbly in that role. And more importantly, the lightweight at 6 ounces lends itself to the backup role. I mean, you can carry this thing without loading yourself down. So that's a Fred Perrin by Spyderco. I don't even know if they make any more. If they do, I highly recommend this knife. I've got 2 of them. I know I'm a very, very sick man. Nothing fancy. Out.